Operation Confidence proudly presents America's Invisible Heroes radio talk show. Tune in weekly on Sundays from 2 to 3:30 p.m. Pacific Time with your hosts, Consuelo Mackey, co-host U.S. Air Force veteran Matt Davidson, announcers Taylor Marcella and Brooke Gadesi, U.S. Army veteran and entertainment host Charles Whitehead, U.S. Army Special Forces veteran and I Once Was Whole segment host Richard Cook, U.S. Army veteran and Lifeline for Women's Veterans segment host Martha Elena Varela, National Faith Program Director and Veterans in Recovery segment host Anthony Akimpora, and U.S. Air Force veteran and Incarceration to Success segment host Kevin Lewandowski. For more information or to be a guest on our show, email info@operationconfidence.org.
Operation Confidence is a grassroots nonprofit. The organization's mission is to provide stable housing for veterans who have experienced homelessness, as well as providing a wide range of supportive services. To help accomplish our goal, a successful landowner has donated land for the project, a world-renowned architect has offered to design the houses, and construction classes from the local community colleges will take part in building the houses. Your support and donations are needed. To get involved, please visit our website at www.operationconfidence.org or email info@operationconfidence.com.
Well, thank you for tuning in to America's Invisible Heroes, the show dedicated to our veterans and their families. Yes, I'm your host, Consuelo Mackey, Executive Director of a grassroots nonprofit organization called Operation Confidence. No, I'm not a veteran, but my heart goes out to our American heroes, especially veterans who are disabled and may have experienced homelessness. For those who are new to the show, American Invisible Heroes was established to provide a platform for our veterans to be able to share their experiences, heartfelt stories, resources, and accomplishments. Now I'd like to introduce you to our amazing co-hosts. We have U.S. Army Reserve veteran Charles Whitehead, who's also a board member. Taylor Marcella, she's a board member and an announcer. U.S. Army veteran Martha Varela, she's on our advisory board. She has a weekly segment called Lifeline to Women Veterans. And then we have a new wonderful young lady, Christine Mantella. She will be having a bi-monthly segment called The Legal Network Forum. We have Patrice Springer. Patrice has a bi-monthly segment called Your Image 2020. Your Image 2020 is an amazing organization. Then we have Darcy Bijan. She has a bi-monthly segment called Make Music LA. And then last but not least, we have U.S. Army veteran Dr. Kathy Cash. She has a bi-monthly segment called Strategies for Hope. Now, I'd like to turn this over to Charles. Charles, can you take it from here? We want to introduce our new guest for today.
Sure. Let me give a disclaimer for all of you who don't know. I'm here at right outside of my home. The Long Beach Grand Prix is happening, and I'm literally, the track and the grandstand is right outside my balcony, so it's going to be noisy whenever I have to talk today. But that's the way we do it. That's why I'm called the entertainment host. I'm here to entertain you in some kind of way, So, but
there you go.
Today we're having our guest for today is U.S. Army veteran Aaron Thumb. He's a program manager, homeless veterans reintegration program with Volunteers of America out of Southgate, California. We also have U.S. Army Airborne Paratrooper veteran Gayle Ocheltree. I got it, Ocheltree. So say hello to everyone and wave so our viewers can see you. Go ahead.
Hey everyone.
Okay. Well, we want to turn it over to Martha.
Hello everyone. Today I will be introducing Patrice Springer, the Executive Director of Your Image 2020, who, as we also heard, will be doing a bi-monthly segment on the wonderful program that Patrice runs. So briefly, Patrice Jinso Springer is a retired vocational teacher from Los Angeles Unified School District. Her classrooms were in gyms, housing developments, department stores, bungalows, places that provided classrooms that people felt comfortable being in out of the community. The adult division was known for classrooms without walls, which meant that teachers went beyond and outside the school walls. After spending 30 years in education, she volunteered in the nonprofit world, helping at-risk youth and the chronically unemployed. She is proud to have 6 generations of military in her family and has all of the branches covered: Army, Navy, Marines, and the California National Guard. Her oldest great-grandson just left the Marines after 4 years of service. She recently began her own nonprofit, Your Image 2020. The mission of her organization is to help marginalized individuals who have been affected by incarceration, drug or alcohol abuse, and or homelessness regain their place in the workforce. Veterans are a big priority as they return to civilian life. Her closet provides clothing to improve self-esteem and build self-confidence to everyone who walks in the doors. Patrice's guest today is U.S. Army veteran Aaron Thumb, Program Manager for the Homeless Veteran Reintegration Program at Volunteers of America in Southgate, California. Take it away, Patrice.
Okay, I'm so happy to thank you for the introduction, Martha. We're going to have more on that a little later, but I'm so pleased to have Aaron on the show today because he is so busy. Every time I see him, he's on Facebook and he's at this event and that event, and I don't know how he does everything he does, but he's passionate about what he does, and he's just out there in the community. He's another one of us that, we're out there, with our boots on. So, Aaron, take it away.
Hi, Patrice. Thank you for inviting me, and I'm glad to be here. Glad to be, in the presence of everyone that's doing great things for the veteran community. So my name is Aaron Thumb. I've been with the this nonprofit organization for about 8 years. Of those 8 years, I've done 6 years of those directly helping homeless veterans get back into the workforce field. So I've been doing it from Los Angeles and Skid Row to, now we're operating in Compton, Santa Ana, California, Torrance, and soon we'll be, in San Gabriel and San Fernando Valley. So we're pretty much everywhere. And our mission is to reintegrate those who have experienced, chronologic homelessness, veterans that have, now received vouchers from HUD-VASH or have received housing assistance through the SSVF program, all these VA-funded housing programs, and then get them some earned income, get them a job. And if they're not, receiving earned income, what can we do? We have a really great assessment, barriers assessment, where we, intensely ask them some questions that, they'll be comfortable to answer, and then build that report to find out any additional challenges that they may have. And I work with a really great team. Part of that team is Ms. Patrice Springer, who invited me here today. We provide everything from interview skills, assistance to resume writing, interview clothing. I had a guy on Thursday who didn't know how to get to work and school, and then I had a bike. We gave him a bike. We do everything. I mean, our funding is very, it's mostly liberal. As long as it's helping the veteran, I really will advocate for them with our funder to get that support. These funds are out there for them. They're not for, our organization. They're not for me. They're not for any personnel. And there's a lot of it. And unfortunately, the biggest, challenge is getting them out there, getting the veterans to come and receiving them, I came to Los Angeles. Well, I'm from Los Angeles. You know, I was born and raised in South LA. About a couple months before I joined the military, I was stabbed. So I said, you know, let's instead of doing it here, let's do it out there. So I joined, and when I came back, you know, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to empower my community of South Los Angeles and Los Angeles community. And I feel like with a great network of partners like yourselves, it's been happening, and I see the change. I mean, currently there's in Los Angeles, there's 3,000, 680 something homeless veterans, and that's just one too many. So having a network of partners like yourselves, and knowing that there's people out there like you guys committed and passionate about helping homeless veterans says a lot. I may be only one piece of employment. There's pieces like, Martha with female veterans, homeless veterans, housing them, and Patrice getting them, dressed and looking good for interviews. But it's great to have to be here amongst you guys, and thank you for the invitation. Yeah.
Well, I think if I could interject, Aaron is being extremely humble right now. I know Aaron from my short time with Volunteers of America, and I can attest that Aaron goes above and beyond to help our veterans. And whether it's getting out there to do community events, as we heard, really networking one-on-one to provide that individual support. Aaron stays busy helping veterans. And I must say, of all the folks that I did meet during my short time at VOA, Aaron, you definitely were one of the ones that were most dedicated to helping the veterans. And I just wanted to thank you personally, because I know it's been a while since I've seen you. And even after, when I moved over to the National Veterans Foundation to work with women vets, we were sending veterans to the HVRP program. And so, Connie, just so you kind of know, this is one of those federal programs that I had mentioned to you, the Homeless Veterans Reintegration Program, that not only provides the job assistance and interview prep, but also, Aaron, the training, because there's lots of other vets, right, that are kind of in a different transition point. And I know when I participated with the HVRP program through the Goodwill, there was lots of additional training opportunities. So if you want to have a career change, but you came from this career and you just kind of don't have the money to do, a new job or kind of training to get ready for a new job, the HVRP program also has dollars for that too. And so that encourages another group of veterans that are looking to kind of transition. And especially with COVID, now we've seen lots of people lose their jobs and kind of start and stop jobs. It's a really good opportunity to take advantage of those funds. And like you said, too many veterans are unaware of this wonderful program. And the director at the Goodwill continually kept me involved, reached out about events, right? Like Aaron goes to all these events on the weekends to continue to build that support network around the veteran community and the family of veterans in our large community. So hats off to you, Aaron. It's nice to see you again.
Yeah, well, we're going to have hats off to you too, Aaron, from Operation Confidence. We want you to come back and bring some of your successful veterans that you've assisted and show just exactly, have them to share some of their stories and what you all have done for them. Because this is very informative. We all need this. And we want to make sure that through Patrice, that we invite you to become involved in what we're doing for our veterans, especially our housing project and so on and so forth. We have a big undertaking and we need all the help we can get. So I want to thank you so much, and you're always welcome. Don't let this be your first and last time, okay?
Got it. Thank you so much, Martha. It's great seeing you again. And it's what a great group.
Yeah, Martha's on our team. She's with PVA, but she's also with Operation Confidence. So we're all excited. Thank you so much. We're moving right along here. Patrice, don't you have more to share?
I do. Let's see. We're going to share my screen here, and I'm hoping I can do this.
Were you able to send that over to Charles? I'm quite sure you
can send it to Charles.
I have it just in case. Hold on. I mean, if you can do it, then let me know. So I won't have to be it's pictures, so I don't have to do any sound. So
right.
Okay, it looks like, let's see what you got going first.
screen sharing. And I'm trying to get over to,
What I have found out is if you open up your doc and have it open instead of minimized, it'll show up right away. And I don't know if you did that, but
what? Okay, oh, there you go. Got it.
all right,
Am I doing it? Am I doing it, Charles?
you got it.
Yeah, you got it. You got it.
Okay, so this is a visit that I was so honored to have Martha come to your image. And I love it when people can come and they can actually look at the closet and see exactly what we have to offer. And this was Martha. This is my favorite picture of her because she was so pleased. She was so happy.
It's distorted.
You don't look right on this end.
I know. I'll have a better one later.
Okay.
Okay.
But this is Martha when she started off looking at her outfits. We put different jackets. This actually is a whole suit, and then we changed the jacket.
Right.
And her top kind of had two different colors in it. And she was very serious, you could tell, about what she was doing.
She looks great.
And so, we tried different ways because now that she's an executive director, we had some different looks for her to have her little power play. So here she had a dress with a jacket that she can wear from morning to night. If she had evening meetings, we put a different jacket on her. This was a really, really nice jacket. And if anybody says that Martha does not have good legs, take a look at this picture. We had beautiful shoes. I think these shoes she could wear comfortably. They weren't like big high heels, but sometimes just wearing the heels makes a big difference in the way you look.
Right.
And so here we started with some color. She never thought she would try on a yellow suit. And we tried on a blue top with some flowers in it, which it was something she probably would have never picked out. And I picked out another one with some color, some flowers that she could, use in the springtime, but it still kept the professional look of her jacket. So you can see there when she took her jacket off, it's something casual. She was really, really pleased. Weren't you, Martha?
I was. You've got a great sense of fashion, I have to say. These were not the normal colors you guys can see. I picked out that blue shirt. She picked out the yellow one, and which one looks the best is the yellow one that she picked out. So
yeah, and so here she is in like a totally different color that she probably would have never chosen for herself. A bright magenta, but it was very professional. And Martha happens to be a petite lady, so she needs to get her sleeves fixed, which is very minor. We don't do alterations at your image, but we can encourage our clients to get the small things done. So it'll make a big difference in how you look. This was another look for her. We had, a jacket that was, this white on the sides, very slimming. And this other black jacket with her black pants, it had silver buttons on it, and it was very, very classy. She could wear that by itself, or she could wear it with something underneath, some really nice jewelry. I think this is her real power dress. This is the one that, you know, she could just walk in, put a jacket if she wanted to. We also have some really nice jewelry. If you look at the jewelry, you know, it's still very classy, very simple. But, you know, just her face. I mean, if you could see her transformation during, and I think you could see this in the pictures, where she just started feeling more confident in herself. You know, you came in, Martha, kind of, you had a bad week and you know, you weren't really sure how you were going to react to everything. But I think everyone can tell what a difference. This is a dress. Again, her color with her dress, little, you know, jacket that she could wear with a lot of different things. And this other blue dress was, again, they're nice and they're feminine, but yet, you know, she's going to command attention when she walks in a room. And this is her flower dress. You know, it's flowery, but yet it's something that she can wear to a meeting and command attention. Good luck, Martha.
Oh, thank you. That was very beautiful.
It was
And
so
you know,
nice.
it
So
was.
nice. Wow.
And I have to say, you know, because I've been to maybe a few of the closets kind of over the years, and this definitely was the only time where I felt comfortable. And we didn't give any credit to the other staff person there that was helping.
Yeah.
But most of the time when you go to these closets, they're really cold, right? The person could care less who you are or what your job is or what the, you know, the specifics are about why you're there. But that wasn't so when I went there with Patrice. I mean, she was very just like if she really cared, and you don't see that all the time. And it mattered. And I think for me, you know, I didn't feel you know, at all like I wasn't important, or this was just a hurry up and you get one thing and get out. Sometimes, unfortunately, at some of the other clothing closets that they have, that's kind of what the experience is. Now, I definitely enjoyed every minute that I was there. I went home with about 4 bags of clothes. So
I'm looking
I'm going.
for donations, everybody, because, you know, Martha left me empty.
Yeah. Well, here's what I got to say. I was so excited that the first thing I did was I came home and packed 2 bags already of clothes that I'm going to bring back. So I've got a pair of shoes, some dresses, some sweaters. So but this is the circle, right, of support that we as veterans and family members and veteran supporters alike have to do for one another to continue moving that car forward, right? So being able to help give, spread the word, share, you know, is definitely something that we continue to do, you know, to promote great programs like yours, Patrice. So thank you very much. I left there so much more confident. Transition is always tough, right? That first week was pretty tough. I talked to Charles about it too. It's you know, no matter what position you're in. So thank you very much, Patrice. And I have to say that from the bottom of my heart, I will be referring men and women. She's got clothes stacked to the walls, guys. We got to get some people in there to get some more of those wonderful clothes she's got.
And I'm so happy that Operation Confidence made that connection.
Absolutely,
because
Connie.
Patrice and I go back many years, and we know the importance of dressing for success and going out into that world as a professionally groomed. And she's a talented individual, knows all about glamour and knows all about outfits, and so do I, with a long track record in this industry. So to have you to appreciate what she offered you, and now you're going to go into your new position, fabulous. It's really exciting. You know, we're all excited for you. And we want Patrice to come back with more success stories as well, because that's important. You know, we've always remembered to use our attire. It's a form of rehabilitation. You know, it rehabs you. I mean, it's literally, you can use that as a form of rehabilitation. And that's something that Operation Confidence has done through the years. When you feel
And-
good about yourself, you can
Yeah.
take on the world, you know?
And really my focus, I mean, it's a trauma-based approach to clothing. It's not a regular, like Martha said, it's not a regular closet that people go in and get clothes.
No, it's not.
Based on dealing with people that are coming in with some kind of a trauma. And unfortunately, a lot of our veterans have a lot of trauma. I really would like to concentrate on our disabled veteran community, you know, which includes, I've done clothing for people that are physically disabled, and it makes such a difference. People that are in wheelchairs need special clothing to accommodate their situation. So, you know, we'll be working on that, trying to get some grants and get some things going.
Sure, sure. You got a heck of a start. I'm very proud of you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, so we move right along here. Charles, you want to introduce our next guest, which is one of our co-hosts?
Absolutely. Our next guest is Dorsey Duhan, and she is the director of Make Music LA, and she's on the planning committee for the Congress of Neighborhood, Local Neighborhood Council, Advisory Board for Arts in LA, just to name a few. She don't want a whole bunch of stuff. Dorsey's a regular segment host here, and I'm just going to introduce her and say that, hey, you know, I call her the queen of make music right now, you know. So.
Well, Charles, you destroyed my name today.
Duhan, I know it's like the mustard. You know, I said Duhan because I'm over here like got multiple things going.
Yeah, and the Dorsey too.
Yeah, I messed it all up. You know, I messed up the intro. You know,
that's okay.
Let me tell you what's going on with me on behind the scenes. I have an Instacart order that was supposed to be going on later, and all of a sudden they came on early, and they're over here sending me messages about shopping this, and I'm like, okay, so so I'll make it more entertaining to you guys to know that I'm over here, jumbling messages talking about turkey wings and turkey necks. So.
Well, too, but I have to say that in terms of entertainment, this is international. Well, it's International Jazz Appreciation Month. It's also April is Poetry Month, and it's also Arts Month. But with that, we're going to talk about jazz today and military bands. So let me share screen here. Let's see. Oh, I think it hit on the wrong thing. Let's see. What happened? Go back. Are we running like molasses? I think so. Can you see that?
Yes.
Yep, we can see it.
Okay. Well, I'm going to talk today about 5 World War I Army African-American bands that changed music forever. This article was written by a gentleman named James Lamb, and he also is a 30-year music professional. And he's been a bandmaster. And let me see, I need to get this over here. Give me 1 second. Get this. So we can see it a little bit better. Okay. So I'm reading this, and this is his voice. So if I say I, please know that it's not me trying to take credit for someone else's work. But this is his story about researching the African-American bands. As a lifelong military musician, I've always enjoyed most of the concerts where we performed that quintessentially American style of music, big band jazz. I've had the personal pleasure of performing for literally millions of people across the globe. It's this one style of music that no matter who you are or where you are from, you can't help but tap your toes, clap your hands, and move to the music. It's happy, spontaneous, and full of energy. It's just so American. So where did this music come from? And when did our military bands become ambassadors of American goodwill performing this music? The often told story is that jazz migrated up from New Orleans when the US entered World War I and after the Navy shut down the fabled Storyville district. This happened in November of 1917, forcing the icons we know so well from the Crescent City to emigrate north to Chicago, then to New York, where fans immediately embraced this new music. But jazz was already emerging across the US. Ragtime had been the rage for 30 years. By 1914, the syncopated rhythms of ragtime were combined with the blues and played with the energy to keep up with the new dances. This was happening in New York, Chicago, Memphis, Los Angeles, and San Francisco. Some called this hot ragtime, others jazz. In fact, the use of the word jazz to describe this new music began in 1915 in San Francisco and Chicago, not New Orleans. As a band officer, I wanted to better understand our heritage and our unique connection to jazz. In my searches looking at generations of jazz musicians and influential military bands, one name kept coming up, James Reese Europe and the 369th Harlem Hellfighters, 15th New York National Guard. He and his band were the most famous, returning from World War I as international celebrities, with Europe dubbed the King of Jazz. And as you can see, these are the Harlem Hellfighters. That's a
lot of information.
But there were actually 5 superb and highly influential Army bands that helped pioneer the emergence of jazz and bring that to international audiences. All were part of Black regiments hailing from New York City, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., and Chicago. The leaders and members were all a close-knit group of musicians who worked together for years prior to and after the war. Aside from the Harlem Hellfighters, there was the 807th Pioneer Infantry Regiment, also from New York, the 350th Field Artillery from New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania, the 367th Infantry, again from New York, and the 370th Infantry, Old 8th Illinois from Chicago. During the World War I centennial, it is now time for us to recognize these American heroes and their contributions to the world of music. I'm going to skip down to one part because I'd like you to hear this. What made these bands so unique was not what they played, but how they played it. The trend of bands having their own arranger to develop an individual sound was still a few years off. That meant bands played the same published arrangements. Listen to these 2 tracks of W.C. Handy's Memphis Blues. Both are playing the exact same notes. The first is from the Victor Military Band, a group of professional white musicians hired by the Victor Company. The second is the James Reese Europe and the 369th Hellfighters. Note the stark differences in interpretation, excitement, articulations, and ornamentation.
Darcy, before you begin, how long is each one of these?
No, it's just a second. Just a second.
Okay.
Yeah, not long at all.
Can't hear it.
Here's the next one.
I think it's our internet because we're not being able to hear it very
At
well.
all?
No, well, it's choppy, very choppy.
Well, that's how it is with Zoom because you have these filters. You would have to, anytime you want to share audio, you have to do like turn your original sound on your computer. So but we can tell the difference. I can tell the difference. The second one was much more exciting.
Yeah, right.
Put a little more
Sounds,
into it.
and you'll be able to come back with more to show us, I mean, for us to hear more. We didn't have so many more guests to come on, but this was exciting. I think also, if I'm not mistaken, if there's already pre-recorded music, Zoom doesn't allow it to come on or something like that. Charles?
It depends on what you're sharing. The copyright stuff.
That's what I meant.
That's
Yeah.
but here we're okay. But if you post it out and it comes on, then they'll take it and block it, like on the
Okay.
recording.
Right.
So
Right. But that was very informative. So
yeah.
thank you so much, Darcy.
You're welcome.
As always, you already got some and you have something coming up too in a few months, don't you? With
Yes.
Make Music LA. Why don't you tell us about that real quick?
Yeah, Make Music Day is it's international and it comes up on June 21st. We'll be having some new information on our website, well, how people can register for it. But we ask, musicians to come out and play for the public. And I think the public is really ready to hear some music live outside now. So hopefully we're going to have some wonderful performances for folks to go to. And that's all over the country. So there's going to be lots of music.
And and your organization is spearheading that, right?
In Los Angeles.
Right. That's going to be fun. We're going to have to advertise that. So make sure you keep us informed, okay?
Definitely will.
All right.
My band, we were part of that. So I've done several of those places with the Make Music LA.
Yeah, that's right.
Santa Monica. Was talking to some folks in Santa Monica yesterday.
Yeah, Santa Monica. We played over at the Celebrity Center and.
Oh yes.
So we've done that, and they started Make Music Long Beach here. So.
Yes, they did.
I've been around. It's unfortunately and sadly the other day one of my guitar players passed. So So,
oh, Charles, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it was.
Sorry.
He was actually played with us at the aquarium. There's just three of us. We played at the aquarium, and so.
God bless him.
But,
okay, we're gonna move right along. Martha, you're gonna introduce Dr. Cash.
Got it,
From
Connie.
there we have Christine, and we're moving right along here about to sign off. Anyway, introduce our fabulous Dr. Cash.
Sure. U.S. Army veteran Dr. Kathy Cash is the CEO of Strategies for Hope. Dr. Cash is a certified RAP facilitator, certified peer support specialist, vet-to-vet facilitator, and a Baptist minister currently living in the Southern California area. Her calling is one of service and passion to support others in becoming their best selves. Through the sharing of her life experiences, she is able to encourage, support, and inspire others, especially women, on their personal roads to recovery. Upon developing her own Wellness Recovery Action Plan, RAP, she gained a powerful tool to help her be her own best self on her road to recovery. Using RAP and the recovery concepts, Dr. Cash has facilitated veteran support groups and faith-based groups, as well as present various topics of wellness in conferences and workshops throughout the city. Her guest today is Gayle Ocheltree, who grew up on a cattle ranch near Yosemite, California. In 1977, she earned her wings as a U.S. Army Airborne paratrooper, and after her discharge from the military, Gayle worked in the film industry as a Directors Guild of America production manager, executing over 457 commercials, including the McDonald's commercial, "You Deserve," or the McDonald's "You Deserve a Break Today" campaign. She worked as a production manager for Levinson Productions, doing over 68 films for Hallmark, graduated from the American Film Institute and UCLA as a writer in screenwriting and TV pilots. As a veteran, she's currently the American Legion's Veteran Service Officer, at the West LAVA, assisting veterans with their benefits. Gayle has 2 daughters and 10 grandchildren, all military brats, born, raised, and trained. She is a talented stand-up comedian performing at Hollywood comedy clubs as well as military conventions. Dr. Cash, can you please lead us in a prayer?
All right. Thank you for the introduction, Martha. Shall we bow? Father God, how we say thank you for the blessings that you've given to us. We thank you, Lord, for the men and women who served and are serving our country. And we thank you, Lord, for the organizations that support them when they come home and also while they're abroad. Lord, we ask that you be with us individually and collectively. And we just thank you for everything that you've done, everything that you're doing, and everything that you will do in each of our lives. We thank you in your son's name. Amen, amen, amen.
Amen.
Amen. All right. Gayle, good afternoon. How are you today?
Very well, Kathy. Great to be here with you.
Good, good. Now, Martha read your bio, and in it, you're U.S. Army paratrooper. How did you become a paratrooper? And you earned your wings in 77. How was it for women to be paratroopers back then?
Well, I was the 250th female to graduate from U.S. Army Jump School because in 1976, the WAC Corps, Women's Army Corps, was still in existence. And during the time that I started in the military until I went to jump school, everything changed, and all of a sudden we're all soldiers. There's no more Women's Army Corps. So that's what happened right around that period of time.
Okay. And how was your experience as a paratrooper?
Well, you know, you heard that I grew up on a cattle ranch, so I was physically capable of taking the test and passing the test and the running and the pull-ups and the lift, everything that I had to do. But I have to confess that I had no idea whatsoever that I was going to be joining an elite combat unit. I joined up to jump out of airplanes because I thought that was the challenge. I was wrong.
Then what was the challenge?
Well, the challenge was, okay, there were 386 men and 7 women in my class, just to start out with.
Wow.
These guys are all hardcore, very determined. First of all, Kathy, when I arrived at Fort Benning, Georgia, I was amazed to see all the different uniforms. I said, oh, this is the Army Jump School. Everybody's going to be wearing a green pickle suit. You know what I mean? But that wasn't the truth at all. There were people there from Australia, from Germany, from Denmark, from Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard. Every single possible military entity in the world was represented in this one single location. And that was interesting, getting to know all those different people as well. Can I go ahead and just tell you a quick little story? You said, what were the challenges? Like, there's one thing.
Yeah, for sure.
I remember more than anything else, we went on a 25-mile forced march one day, and it was raining, and we had to stop and just sit for a while. You know, they do that. They just put the troops on hold until they're needed, you know, so we had to sit. And we were so bored, we didn't know what to do. And I reached in my field jacket and I pulled out a Chinese food menu. And I said to the guys, I said, hey, I said, who would like some Kung Pao chicken? And the guy goes, oh, I sure would. And so I tore that little line out of the menu that said Kung Pao chicken, and I handed it to him, and he ate it. I said, who would like some orange chicken and some fried rice? Oh, I would. I said, okay. So I tore those little lines out, passed out the food to each and every trooper around me. And then at the end, I tore out something at the bottom of the menu for me, and it had a little teeny dot of sesame oil on it. And it was one of the best foods I've ever eaten in my life. We were so hungry, and in the rain, and this is an absolutely true story. I mean, you just do weird stuff to get your mind okay, because survival, in my opinion, and what I learned in jump school, is all about attitude. It's all about our attitude about things in life now. It's all about that in the military. And if you can get yourself an airborne attitude, you're going to make it in life. Yes.
All right. All
That's
right.
so cute.
I love it.
You
I love
serve
it.
them the menu, pieces of the menu.
Tasty.
It was
Yes.
tasty too. Okay.
And then, so you're a VSO
Yes.
right now.
Mhm.
So share about your experience as a VSO. What is that? And what do you do as a VSO?
Well, I have an office at VA West Los Angeles, and we're still not allowed to see anyone face to face. But I'm going to go ahead and put my phone number here in the chat so that you have that. It's best if people text me and make arrangements for an appointment. But I see a lot of different people about a lot of different issues. I take it very seriously, but yet I do it with a happy-go-lucky attitude. And, you know, I have to let them know that I do comedy on a regular basis. Otherwise, they think, man, what kind of VA employee lunatics have we got here these days? You know? But I try to lift up their spirit as well, you know, because we're thinking about such serious issues. They've been injured and needing ongoing, you know, medical care, and I have to collect that evidence. I currently have 13 MST claims. That's military sexual trauma. 2 of them are men. A lot of people are homeless, need maybe immediate assistance with a leaf request, and I work that out because I've been at VA West LA for I've been a veteran patient there for 33 years. So
Wow.
there's no doubt that I'm going to know people. I can't help it. They call me the Kevin Bacon of the VA. But if I don't know somebody, I'm going to find somebody who does. And quite often, Kathy, I call you because we work together on all kinds of various issues, because my job is about claims and filling out the paperwork and getting that kind of thing started. And I interface a lot with service people, with VPAN, and I was just listening to all of the wonderful things and all the representation that are here on this show. And I look forward to networking with you and meeting with you regarding VA issues. And, you know, if anyone ever wants to come and see my comedy show, it's free for veterans. I have unlimited free tickets available for veterans who want to come as a group and sit down and see the show. I had one show and there were like 47, there's I think 27 VA employees and then American Legion people. And it's a nice environment at the Comedy Chateau. I know I kind of deviated there, Kathy, and I'll get back to the actual subject. But, you know, networking with other veterans and being lighthearted and happy and, you know, you go to a comedy club in Hollywood and you got to pay for everything. You got to pay for parking. You got to pay for tickets. You got to, you know, and I mean, it's just too much. And this place, I go there. I'm there, you know, 4 or 5 times a week at open mics and try to perform a couple of times a month. And I think it really helps for people to be in a laughing, funny, uplifting environment, to network with their, you know, coworkers and things. I mean, I saw a lot of problems and things just get, you know, fixed up right there over fish and chips. You know what I'm saying? It was great. So, you know, you see how I always key to food things. You know, I had to lose some weight. I had to learn that gravy is not a beverage. You know what I mean? Seriously, you know. So
your humor, we have to have you on a regular.
Yeah, she's gonna be a host.
Yeah, you got to be.
A host.
You keep everybody happy, you know.
Well, you know, I just do. I mean, I don't tear up the VA. I just tell the truth about the VA, and that's just the way it is. You know. Okay, I'll say one more thing. I was walking out of a committee meeting with the director of the VA the other day, and he says, Gayle, he says, you know, I'm not trying to be an asshole. And I said, oh, really? Well, if you're not even trying, then you're damn gifted. You know what I mean?
That's funny.
Well, and I think Gayle and Charles could probably agree that, there's always room for more, lighthearted,
Oh
humorous,
yeah,
kind VSOs in the world, right?
And we need that.
Yeah.
I mean, with what's going on in society today, we need a more of a Gayle around.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. I try to keep, my family and everybody I'm around on a happy note. I have my down times, goodness sakes, man. But I just dive under the blankets and eat Velveeta cheese right out of the box. That usually fixes it up, because cheese is an antidepressant.
Well, I got a question for you then.
Sure.
Is it Velveeta cheese or is it the box?
Either one. I'm eating the Chinese food menu, Charles, so you're right about that. All right. That's absolutely correct. Yeah. So anyway, VSO work is very serious. I'll tell kind of a joke and a situation about one guy that came in and he said he had Agent Orange herbicidal exposure and that he had ED. And I said, wow, I need to figure out if he's talking about erectile dysfunction or an eating disorder or an educational benefit. I didn't know. So I said to him, excuse me, sir, could you please describe your symptoms? And he said to me, and this is a true story, I'll share that with you because nobody else is listening, right? It's just us. I got to be careful. No, so he says to me, he says, well, ma'am, he says, Homer, he be dangling. And I went, okay, I don't think we have a diagnostic code for Homer be dangling, but, I'll see what I can do. I mean, so I cross over between the VSO stuff, and he and I have become really, really good friends. He just likes to laugh about, Agent Orange is so serious to the families, birth defects. I don't not take it seriously. I take it very seriously. I just don't think that we need to take it seriously while we're filling out paperwork.
Right.
That's your therapist's job. That's your family and friend's job. That's your good buddy's job. You don't have to come in and tell me all about it every single. I had one guy come in there, got all pissed off, and went in the bathroom and kicked the toilet off the wall and flooded our offices. So that's my experience as a veteran service officer. I've had people threaten me, want to shoot me, got to call the police. I mean, it's hideous. Sometimes I come home and I go, why am I doing this? Then I go over to the Comedy Chateau and I talk silliness, and tell everybody about, what goes on, and today when I leave here, I'm going to go over there and tell them that I think this rank stripes, I think that's what women ought to be doing, to state what level of sexual relationship, if the guys were any good or not. They ought to be a private or a sergeant or a general or something like that. That way we could see from a distance if we even wanted to get involved with them in any kind of way. You know what I mean? We know that in advance. So I just made that up last night. So we'll see how it goes at the open.
It's great.
You are hanging out too long.
I could do this all day long, and that's true. But I really want to cover any serious issues because I can do that too anytime. That my job is extremely serious. Every single person that comes to see me or calls me on the phone or texts me, emails me, whatever, has a life-threatening situation. Some of them are dying right now. They're terminal. And that just makes me want to barf in the trash can, because I never know if the VA is going to allow us to react quickly enough to save them long enough to get the service connection so their families can apply for disability, benefits, after they pass away. It's just, if I didn't do comedy, I don't know what I'd do.
Martha shared that. Christine has shared that. We all feel the same way. I mean, it's just so sad,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's good to hear that you're here to help. And I, when we've we field phone calls from veterans, we don't always know like where to send them because there isn't a guarantee that on the other end, the VSO is actually going to help. And and again, it's not to knock all the good ones that are out there, but that's just been the common theme that I've experienced in my work with veterans. So I bless your heart. I already wrote your number down. Me and Connie are going to debrief after the call. And even Charles and I, because this is a constant theme. Veterans need a good VSO. So thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, we really need you.
I refuse to do a quota. I will spend as much time as that veteran needs to get educated and become confident in the claims process.
Can you give your email address too?
Huh? I haven't yet.
Can you give us your
if you text me, I'm going to respond and give you Code of Federal Regulations links and, and a way to call and start your claim immediately with a, 210966 intent to file. I'm going to ask you for your DD-214. I'm going to give you a 1, 2, 3, 4 step list of what you need to do and how to react, because I'm not a hand holder. I'm not their secretary. Now, if somebody has dementia, that's another matter. But lazy veterans, no. Here's the pen, sucker. Let's start building confidence by you taking part in your own business and not just going, the VA, oh no, that's not, you're going to get tough love from me.
Okay.
Yeah, and along with that tough love, she gives all these wellness tools because you're laughing, you're not feeling down when you go to see her. You see that she is going to help you. You see that she is serious. And again, she's not a hand holder. She is empowered. She empowers the veteran.
We got to have her back on the show with a segment because she's amazing, informative, and funny.
Yes.
Please.
I'm a goofball.
We love the goofballs, the informative ones,
So I just love Gayle. I love referring people to her because when they call me back and tell me that she's on it, she's taking care of business, and she gave me homework to do. So this is what I'm doing.
Right.
And that is how they become involved in their own claim instead of waiting on somebody to do it. So that develops not only empowerment, but it gives a person hope. It gives a person hope. And that's what we're all about, instilling that hope into our veterans, because we don't have hope anymore.
That's right.
So Gayle, I thank you for being here and for sharing, and we definitely will have you on again.
Thank
and before I sign off, I want to share a quote about hope from our former First Lady, Michelle Obama. And the quote says, "You may not always have a comfortable life, and you will not always be able to solve all of the world's problems at once, but don't ever underestimate the importance you can have, because history has shown us that courage can be contagious and hope can take on a life of its own."
Yes.
Love it. That's so true.
And that's again by Michelle Obama.
Love it.
I'm Dr. Kathy Cass, Strategies for Hope. We instill hope in everyone.
All right.
Powerful.
So thank you very much.
Both of you girls, just powerful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now, I did speak with Kathy about needing to leave because I have to be over at the Comedy Chateau for an audition.
Oh, I understand.
And I only have a half hour to get to where I need to be and get ready.
It's been a pleasure. It's been an honor, and we want to see you back again for sure.
Thank you.
Good job, you guys, for all the stuff you do.
Bring that informative information and that amazing humor we need.
Going to hang out?
Yeah, sounds good, man. Just come to Comedy Chateau. We'll hang out. All the veterans bring their paperwork to the Comedy Chateau and try to hand it to me there. It's crazy. I said, this has got to be a HIPAA violation of some kind of damn thing. You know what I mean? I don't even know. And then I go on the stage and I go, James, please don't bring me your paperwork to the Comedy Chateau.
Oh, my God.
I take it all the time. I'm just teasing.
Oh,
all right now.
Well, thank you
so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, Kathy, for having me. Love you, miss you, mean it. Okay, I'm going to check out of here, and I look forward to seeing every last one of you and hearing from each of you in some kind of way. Yeah?
All right now.
All right. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye, guys. Bye-bye.
Okay, so Taylor, I want you to introduce you to someone who is also very special. This is Christine Mantilla. She's very precious. She's very encouraged and also out there fighting for our veterans. And she has a lot to share. And we want to welcome her because she's going to be one of our co-hosts as well. And we're going to go on her show as well. But anyway, go ahead on and introduce Christine, I'm sorry, not Christina.
Christine is the Community Outreach and Marketing Development Coordinator at South Coast College. Prior to assuming her position at South Coast College, where she received her degree in paralegal services, she was a paralegal for a prominent attorney firm where she developed a passion for outreaching to the community and engaging in community events. Her skills in that area led her to being invited to apply for her current position at South Coast College, where she instituted the Legal Networking Forum, a weekly event that reaches out to the legal community and features outstanding members of the legal community and current topics that are of interest to the general public. Christine is also a board member of the Orange Chamber of Commerce. Christine loves the opportunity to hang out and do business with the great members and businesses in Orange. With her free time, she loves being outdoors, hiking, road tripping, and just being with her family and friends. If you ever need to meet someone in Orange, just ask Christine for an introduction. If she doesn't know them yet, she will get to know them. Next week, Christine's guest will be United States Marine Corps Dawood Akil, who is currently service connected with 90%. Dawood has been fighting to have his connections increased to 100% due to stage, 5-6 cancer of the gallbladder, bile duct, and liver in 2020. My goodness. His rare diagnosis of gallbladder cancer are related to Camp Lejeune, well documented as a diagnosis that many Marines have been infected with. Christine, tell us more about the Legal Networking Forum.
Thank you guys so much for having me on. Now, can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah. Come up a little closer so we can see that lovely face.
Okay, so I had to use my phone. I'm so sorry. Thank you guys so much for having me on. With South Coast College, we do the Legal Networking Forum. And what happened was about December, I started helping a veteran. And we do a lot of different outreaches. And this one veteran brought me into this world of a lot of no's. Just like Martha was talking about, and several of you guys, there was so much red tape. I think I met every organization locally in Orange County and LA, getting so many no's and doors slammed on me to help this one veteran. So I reached out to my friend, Dawood Akil, who is a retired Marine, and he owns JCI Agency, doing very well for himself. I thought, this Marine, this retired veteran, he's known in the community. He does so much for other veterans. He'll have resources. And when I reached out to him, he was struggling too. The same no's, the same doors slammed, the same things we hear that these veterans are promised that they're just really not getting. Or there are great organizations out there, but there's so much red tape that they have that these veterans, they can't release some of these funds to some of these veterans that are in that in between. So Dawood actually told me he was struggling with the same things. And we began with my Legal Networking Forum to do helping our veterans who have sacrificed for us, which was just a one-time, let's do this show and invite everyone on and all the resources and get these veterans that we are working with help. And so we actually had a former congressman on, a state senator. We had all these resources. And when we were there, we let some veterans share their story, and it was just heartbreaking. But we did actually get to help some of these veterans financially and in other ways. And we began the Helping Our Veterans Who Have Sacrificed for Us virtual monthly series. So our veterans series is co-hosted by Dawood and me. We do this once a month. We have incredible resources on. We've been able, just by sharing our need, to help financially in really random ways, some of our veterans, and we've just accumulated so many partners in the process, like Operation Confidence. We have a VA speaker in May, which is amazing. And actually me and this VA speaker, it's kind of funny because we didn't get off on the right foot because I was mad looking for help. And then he called me back and said, "Who are you?" And so we got to talking. And the VOA, I met with, or I've emailed back and forth with Kelly at the VOA. So I know what you guys do. I love it. And it's super exciting. I love to have all of you guys on our Veterans Series. This month, April 27th, we have podcaster, influencer, entrepreneur, and 26-year retired Sergeant Major Mario P. Fields, who is out there working, transitioning current veterans and working in the private sector, educating private companies on how to work and hire veterans and how to maintain relationships with their veteran employees, amongst other things. But we've been able to partner with some incredible people to create resources. And our mission with the Legal Networking Forum Veterans Series is to have these veterans' voices heard. The claims process is so horrible in the sense that denials are almost, and I'm probably not 100%, but denials are almost 100%, the thing that they do first before they approve you. And some of these medical treatments as, oh my gosh, did I just forget her name? Our comedian.
Oh, Gayle?
Gayle.
Gayle, thank you. I was remembering her last name. As Gayle just said, it's devastating that some of these people are not getting the treatment that they need. I had the veteran that I originally was helping, they waited months to find out if his lesion was cancer or not. And it's like, what are you waiting for?
Martha has some of the same stories, and so does Charles. I mean, this is the one of the reasons for this show is to share some of the injustices happening to our veterans. So we commend you on what you're doing. This is just horrible. And I know Dr. Cassius has some similar.
Oh, yes.
So
please all join. It is April 27th at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Zoom. And our goal is, financially, we are raising funds in many different ways. I don't take money on our show. Our goal is literally to be heard and be heard by the people that can make these changes. And I think all of us joining together and continuing to speak about it is just another step in getting these changes to be made. Hopefully, because that's what we would all love to see.
Right. And how is Jeru doing? I mean, is he able to come on? How do you pronounce his name?
Dawood.
You think he'll be able to come on next week? We really want to give a prayer to him as well.
Yes, he'll be on next week. And yes, he is. This is his last mission. I don't want to lose him as my co-host. He's just incredible. And what he does for people beyond just veterans, he just is so incredible. They have a foundation with JCI agency, and he's got children and grandchildren and a lovely wife. And, it's just devastating.
Do you have his picture to show on the screen?
Cancer.
Do you have his picture to show on the screen?
I can't screen share. I had to use my phone, but if you guys go to your website.
I think I have it. I don't know what I'm doing. I'll see if I can bring it up.
Yeah. We have a Facebook group called Helping Our Veterans Who Have Sacrificed for Us. Anyone can join and share resources. It's really supposed to be to share resources and ask for funds, ask for help in any way between our monthly series.
And that's on Facebook, you said?
What's it called? Helping Our Veterans Who Have Sacrificed for Us.
Okay.
Wow.
And so far we haven't, we had a few veterans that would come forward and speak and ask for, share what their needs were. Right now we have more resources than veterans. We were able to help, but also because a lot of them won't come forward. So I have all the other day.
That too.
Yeah, I told Connie about a call that I had the other day where one veteran told me a story about the VLI, the Veterans Legal Institute, which I've had my own issues with. And he said he had another veteran that came forward to him and they wanted to bring this story to me. And, forward him to Connie so we can get him on here and have him share. But beyond that, they don't want to come forward any further than that. And some won't even ask for help because they've gotten so many no's. And like Gail said, you know, if you're not putting comedy into this, you go crazy with all these stories.
Yeah. And we've had heard some terrible stories. I mean, just break your heart, you know, what they've gone through. Huh, Martha?
Yeah, and I think, you know, like you said, it's important because I've seen the difference that it makes when it's other veterans and veteran, you know, advocates helping to encourage those veterans to come forward, right? Because they, like Dr. Cash says, it's to the point where they've lost all hope, that they don't want to reach out, or they don't believe you when you say you can help, because they've been dropped off like bad habits from, you know, multiple people by the time they get to you. So it's almost like you have to have that, you know, happy, hopeful, humorous, some sort of, you know, trick in your bag to catch them while you have them. And especially for the female vets, because once they're gone, they're gone. You won't see them again. You won't hear from them again. And it's a lot of what has, you know, saddened me is that, you know, there's no resources available now. Right. So when we hear this big term of suicide prevention, that's what suicide prevention looks like. When that female calls and says, I'm on the street tonight, I need a hotel, or I'm going to lose it. We have to do what we have to do to get that veteran. And I speak from experience, not being able to spin the resources fast enough, and have never seen or heard from some of these females again, who are in even a worse state, mentally, spiritually, than some of our other male vets. And it's sad. So we've got to respond. We have to have the resources, and we got to act quickly, because it could be tragic. By the time they get to us, we don't even realize, you know, just how many hoops they've jumped through unsuccessfully. So you're saying such truth in this work. And I definitely want to get that Zoom link from you. If you could put your information in the chat. I think there's several of us representing different organizations that have veterans and co-workers and programs alike that could benefit from your partnership.
Yeah, well, she's going to be one of on our show as well. So, and we're all working together, thank God.
I wanted to ask a question, if you don't mind, and that was: has there been, or is there, a summit where the veterans are invited to participate? Something that was maybe not formal, but very informal, and where there could be conversations and just a way for all of these organizations to come together at one time to meet people where they are.
Yeah, something
If
like
you're
that.
asking me, I'm not sure, but I just started getting very involved this January. I've done things in the past, but never to this level. So not that I've heard of, but it would be incredible for these organizations to come together and these veterans to come and just.
But in Los Angeles,
Charles and I have been, actually, we've hosted something similar where all of the different organizations came together. Operation Commons has a track record on putting together these type of fairs. So, but then COVID, of course, we had to stop. But we want to do that again, where all of them come together and be able to share their resources and assistance to help our veterans, because they're just out there with this nothing. And the stories, and women veterans are, that's a whole nother horrible story, you know?
Well, in Los Angeles,
I was going to say, to be able to tell, to be able to tell the stories, if there was a summit like that where you also gave them an opportunity to voice and to be, I don't know if some people wouldn't mind being taped, so that you get these stories and you put them together and somehow end up taking them to Washington.
Yeah, that's the problem. They don't want to talk up, a lot of them don't, you know?
Yeah, that is an issue, you know, part of, you know, like the whole thing, like she was saying, you know, some of them just don't, you know, when they're gone, you know, like we were talking about, you know, so it's hard to get people to come forward. There are some who will, you know, like, you know, myself, I'll step up and say it. Hey, you know what, you know, you guys did me dirty, you know, and I'm like, you know, it's like, you know, but
and
some of the people, you know,
we advocate for each other. That's another thing that we can do.
Mhm.
Exactly.
But there is the Los Angeles Veterans Collaborative that meets on the second Wednesday of every month. It's through Southern
Yeah.
California
That's that
grant.
Patriotic Hall, right?
Yes. Well, right
Yeah.
now they're on Zoom. They go to Patriotic Hall, and I think they're going in June, either May or June. There'll be a Patriotic Hall. But right
I've been
now
a
they're
member
on
for
Zoom.
several years, but no, they're a big group.
Well, there's
Yeah,
also something too in Long Beach, and I'm going to be learning more about it next week. There's a hub of VPAN is there. There's a couple other groups, and we heard from James Benner. Is that right? I think
Jim Zinner.
Zim.
Zinner is
Okay,
over.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Jim Zinner. Yeah. So I'll keep you guys updated because we're gonna go take a look and see who's all at this hub. So it's a one-stop resource hub in Long Beach where everyone's and it's in City Heart. Remember we heard from the gentleman who comes
John
on.
Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
John.
So
Uh-huh.
I'm going to learn some more information about what this hub looks like and who's all part of the hub, because PVA California chapter is interested in learning more since their offices are still closed, right, at the Long Beach VA. So I'll give you guys more information next week when I come back to see. But I agree, we need to continue to do this, whether it's the stand downs that we've seen kind of pre-COVID to something new, or what Operation Confidence has done in the past, and just continue to the effort because it's still so much needed.
And we were so happy to have him on the show a couple of weeks ago as well. He was a wealth of information. Jim
At the Los
Zimmer.
Angeles Veterans Collaborative, veterans are invited to come and bring their issues. They tell the partner organizations, because they have a lot of community organizations that come to the work groups. And the work groups do just that. They work on those issues that are brought before them. There's a women's work group. There's a faith-based, housing, legal. I know Access and Engagement meets at 9 o'clock. But these are all community organizations that come together to work on resolving any issues that are brought before them. So for example, right now, one of the issues that the women's work group is working on is childcare for women veterans who are going back to work.
Right.
Because when you were in the military, there were, if you had children, there were other options available, but now there aren't that many options available. So that's one of the projects that they were working on, as well as housing for women on the VA campus. So it's a lot of things that goes on in the Veteran Collaborative, because a lot of organizations do come to the collaborative.
Right. Yeah, it's huge. There's a lot of resources there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron, do you have anything to share? Because you're out there.
I'm actually going to type up that information, Dr. Cash. The Homeless Female Veterans and Veterans with Family program, actually, that's one of my programs. We'll actually pay for childcare for women veterans or veterans with families with small dependents while they're going back to work. That's some of the supportive services that we offer. So I'll send you my information as well, but we will pay for that if you guys are still looking for that resource.
Okay, definitely, because we definitely would need that.
Okay, great. Well, this has been a very interesting, informative show. Don't you all agree?
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm so thrilled to have had all you amazing guests on the show. We're going to turn it over to Hot News with Charles, and then we're going to wind down and end our show for the day. But I want to thank everybody for this outstanding, informative show that we've had today, as always. So Charles,
is it time for hot news?
Yes, time.
Yeah, we're behind. We're a little behind.
All right. Well, if you haven't been here before, and when I get to that point, it's called hot news.
It's like so funny.
It's hot news.
Is it hot news, Charles? Okay.
Hot news. It's like the sun with ketchup with the hot sauce on it. It's hot and flavorful.
This guy is amazing. This Charles is. He's all over the place, all over Long Beach, on all different boards and skydiving and jumping off the
rappelling
and what else do you do, Charles?
Playing music, writing music, making commercials.
All of this from a wheelchair. So I mean, he just looks incredible. But
Well, that's
you
that's
know,
old news.
that's old
Right
news.
now we talking about
Hot
hot
news.
news.
Hot. Okay, let's
Hot
do it.
news.
Thank you much, though. And sorry for jacking your name up, Dorsey. It was done in. But anyway, that's old news now too. Okay.
Right.
The Coalition for Disabled Musicians, Inc. On February 22nd, 1986, the Coalition for Disabled Musicians was formed. The Coalition for Disabled Musicians is a nonprofit, self-help, volunteer organization of musicians with disabilities. They produce and perform music, conduct workshops, promote community awareness, develop adaptive techniques to address pain and physical limitations, and assist in connecting disabled musicians around the nation and the world with each other. The Coalition for Disability Musician is they introduced disabled musicians to each other who have an understanding of disability related programs. They give access to an accessible rehearsal and recording studio. They create tag team systems and other adaptive techniques for pain, endurance, and other limitations. They set up studio and stage bands for amateurs and pros. They hold live performances, produce recordings, and hold music workshops and seminars. They also promote public awareness of the disabled community as a great reservoir of talent and ability. If you want to get in touch with them, email CD, email them at cdmnews, that's Charlie David Michael News at AOL.com, or go to their website. It's www.disabled-musicians.org slash. And so I can tell you a little bit about me being a disabled musician. How I got started was my connection through actually Rancho Los Amigos is actually where I work right now. The
You've been
guys,
there what 20 years, haven't you?
I've been there since 1992. Essentially, I've been working full time since '94. So that's more than 20 years. Um, so so how I got connected with those was the Herman Hogan, who's the co-leader of our band, per se. Him and some of the guys would come to Rancho and play music for events and things like that. And I guess one day I was like, hey, can I sing? And Herman was like, he even told me, he's like, man, who is this guy? What do you mean he wants to sing? That's what Herman would tell me. Now he tells me about it. And then, they went around, moved or whatever, time passed by. And I moved to Long Beach in 2006. And at that time, the vault was open, and they used to have the Wave would host concerts there, and I would go there, and I saw Herman, and he said, "Hey man, I'm playing music at this coffee shop on whatever day it is," and I went by and started hanging out, and that was in 2007. I started writing, and to this day, Herman and I we connected, and he had a couple of guys he was playing with. They were all county employees, and so that's how we connected. It was through LA County workers, and to this day, here we are. We're playing, and we created a per se, and they had a band, and it was called I forget the name of it, but we changed it, and I went and looked to see if it was available, and it was. There's one other place named Per Se, and it's a restaurant in New York. And so I said, oh, Per Se the band, there we are, bam, here we are now. Many years later, creating and playing together, and things have so that's hot news number one. Hot news number two, should I say, hot news number two is Operation Confidence has now partnered with Amazon. They offer jobs for veterans who would like employment at Amazon. Our, and I'm speaking for the Amazon. It said our team is in charge of staffing all of our warehouses in SoCal with the main focus in the LA area.
I don't know that.
See, I have I changed the name to Amazon. She's nosy. Anyway, our team is in charge of staffing all of our warehouses in SoCal with the main focus in the LA area going as far as Palmdale all the way down to Southgate. Anytime a candidate applies for a position with Amazon, we are one of the first people they will see. Our CE code is PECCY8. Please give these codes out when we can give you a hiring base for some free Amazon gear. We do badge photos, employment authorization, and go over the details about the position they applied for. Amazon has a online application. It's amazon.com/hourlyjobs near me. There are job text alerts. Text Amazon to 77088, and I can read a whole bunch of stuff. But what you do is you go to the site, go to Operation Confidence, and all this information is there. Because I could spend all day reading this stuff, but all the information is there.
And they have it on their script as well.
Yes, exactly. And so, and I'm talking to the people that aren't who are listening to us.
Right.
They can go to Operation Confidence. There's you have to have a resume, okay? And it says the interview will be assessment included in the assessment included in the online application. Candidates will not have to dress up and bring a resume into their office hours. They say no resume, no interview, and that's in big bold letters. So make sure you get your time in, you get your resume, and I think it's well worth it to get in. The business lines they hire are delivery stations, so you can sort, scan, and load customers. They have set schedules for El Monte, Glendale, LA, City of Industry, Southgate, Simi Valley, Chatsworth, and Valencia. As you can work for Prime now. It's just like being a personal shopper for customers. Full-time schedules are available, part-time schedules. They have locations for that in Silver Lake and Vernon. They're a Whole Foods Market position. You can be a personal shopper inside Whole Foods Market. You can be a part-time flexible schedules for doing that. 2 days of mandatory training also is followed by control over days or hours of work, how you want to work. And there are, of course, there's first day of training will be self-training, meaning that instruction will be provided, but an area manager may not be on site. So, there's positions for that in downtown LA, Pasadena, and Glendale. And then the extra tips and information, all of that stuff. The best day to schedule office hours is for I-9 processing, is drug tests. It will be Mondays through Wednesdays. So, give Bryce a call. His name is Bryce Hopwood. Please, when you call Bryce Hopwood, tell him that you are Operation Confidence as your referral partner. His name is Bryce Hopwood, and he's the staffing coordinator with the LAX North Workforce Staffing. And his email is B as in Bryce, Hopwood, Hopwood. So bhopwood@amazon.com. And there you have it.
Just to confirm.
All right. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. Amazon cancel. She's trying to play music for me now.
Canceling.
Thank you.
What are you talking about?
My speaker. I have one of those
Amazon speaker.
Yeah, see, most people call it Alexa.
Oh.
So I changed that name to Amazon. I have 3 of those speakers in here. One of them, the one where I'm at now in this room is Amazon. The one in my bedroom is Ziggy, and then the one that I put my little Echo in the bathroom is Echo. So.
Okay.
I'm not sure about that.
You lost me there for me.
Yeah, you gotta have a speaker to know. You gotta be in the know.
Okay. All right.
But anyway,
All right.
I'm gonna
Taylor,
give it to
take it
Taylor.
away, Taylor.
I would like to remind our listeners and viewers about our amazing advertisement rates. We have 20 and 30-second advertisement slots available. Please email info@operationconfidence.org for more information and visit Operation Confidence's website at www.operationconfidence.org resource page for some amazing resources. I would also like to inform our viewers and listeners about Amazon Smile. When making your next purchase on Amazon, please go to Amazon Smile and type in Operation Confidence in the Choose Your Organization donation box. Amazon will make a small donation to Operation Confidence. Also, to get involved in Operation Confidence Tiny Houses Project, visit our website at www.operationconfidence.org and send us a message on how you would like to be involved. Martha, take it away.
To our viewers, we would also like to inform you about Operation Confidence's Positive Redirection Team, which is a group of male and female veterans who are mentors, having overcome similar challenges and situations transitioning back into mainstream society. I would like to also add transition throughout, right? Because it's a difficult time and we all could use support during those times of transition. So to be connected or to become a team member, please email us at info@operationconfidence.org. That email address again, info@operationconfidence.org. We're also excited to inform our listeners about Operation Confidence's Combat Boots and Lace Women's Veteran Mentoring and Creative Art Support Group. Zoom meetings will take place the first Saturdays of the month. So yay, we're moving forward in the planning process. So to get involved, or if you know of any other female veterans who may be interested, please email me at martha@operationconfidence.org. Again, MARTHA @operationconfidence.org.
Okay. And we want to thank Dr. Cash and also Ms. Phyllis Miller for coming on board and joining our Combat Boots and Lace network. Excuse me, we're very excited. And in closing, we want to always remind our listeners about our goal for the show, and that's to raise awareness about Operation Confidence's mission. And that mission is to excuse me, provide stable housing with a wide range of supportive services for our veterans, especially veterans who are disabled and have experienced homelessness. So to get involved with our grassroots efforts, please send us an email at info@operationconfidence.org. That's info@operationconfidence.org. And visit our website, www.operationconfidence.org. And we want our viewers to please don't forget to subscribe to our American Invisible Heroes on our own YouTube channel. We're very excited. And I was been informed that we have like over 17,000 viewers from this whole year of us being on YouTube. So that's a lot of excitement going on there. So listen, not too many on Facebook, but we got several on YouTube. So we're excited. So we want to thank our viewers for tuning in. We'll be back next Sunday, and thank our wonderful, wonderful guests, and of course our co-hosts. So say goodbye, everyone. Woo!
Before we go out, I'm gonna give you a shot of the Long Beach Grand Prix right here passing by. You know, that's my thing. So I'm on my phone now. So hold on. I'm gonna give you a quick shot.
Turn your video on, Charles.
Turn the video on.
Wait till I get outside.
Where are you, Charles?
I'm here.
Give him a minute. He's got to get outside.
All right. Here I am. You see me, right? But I'm gonna go back to I didn't get this thing to show.
Where are you, on your patio?
I'm on the patio. I can't
Just turn it around.
how do you turn it on? I'm like, get my phone to look back. Come on. Here they come. Let me see if I can do it this way.
Don't drop the phone now.
Oh, there they are.
All right.
That's right at your patio, huh?
Yeah. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, we can see them. And we've seen some of them gone by.
So that's a lot of fun.
That's enough.
Thanks, Charles.
You guys see that?
Yeah, we saw it.
All right. I'm gonna close this and go back to my computer because it's I don't know what I'm doing with this phone. I'm shutting it off. Boom.
Okay. coming? Are you coming there, my friend?
Yeah, he's gonna wheel over to the computer and show the video.
Well, one thing about us, we have a lot of fun on the show. It's nothing staged. Okay. There we go. Can't hear you. You're muted.
With all that said and done, I guess we're done.
Okay.
Oh,
Thank you so much. You're going to sign us out. There's your
there
sign
it
off.
is. You know, the famous.
There it is. Thank you, and see you next week, everyone.
All right, y'all. Be safe, whatever you do.
Bye. Thank you guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks,
Bye,
Christine.
everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Dr. Cash. Thanks, Darcy.
Thanks, Aaron.
Aaron.
All right.
Thank you guys. Have a good
Bye,
one.
John Boy. Goodbye,
Thanks,
Mary Jane.
Trees. Thanks, Darcy.
Thank you, Connie.
All right, now. Good.
For more information or to be a guest on our show, email info@operationconfidence.org.